I'm a connector that says, hey, here's what our brokerage offers. I think it could help you here, here, and here. And if it doesn't, and you don't want to, then okay. Hey there, welcome back to my Epique Journey. This is Brandon DeVere. Thank you, as always, for tuning in and sharing your time with me. I really appreciate that, and I hope that you have had a chance to catch up on some of the other episodes, and you keep coming back. That's awesome. Today, I kind of want to talk a little bit about who I am, what I am, I guess. I'm not sure if you've read the book, The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. Where he talks about the mavens, the salespeople, and the connectors. And so basically, if you haven't, I'll just give you like a brief rundown. So the maven are kind of like knowledgeable people that want to just share their knowledge. I guess a maven would be somebody like a school teacher or something like that. The salespeople, the salesperson, convinces others to adopt those ideas, or they sell ideas. And the connector kind of just is a distributor, kind of connecting people in certain ways. And although I'm in real estate and we work in sales, I tend to find that we are more of at least myself, I'm more of a connector. Like I had a podcast years ago, and I just did local business owners and entrepreneurs. And so I would interview different people from like coffee shops to like this gentleman that has like a shoe store where you'd go in and he would watch you walk on the treadmill, and then he would kind of like, it wasn't custom, but he would just like assign the right shoe for you. Of course, I got made fun of by all my friends and my kids because I was old man New Balance, wearing New Balances because my back and hip were hurting because I'm getting old. But I would connect with those things. And the idea was that I would connect with all these different entrepreneurs and business owners in the Las Vegas area, that when people would ask, hey, do you know a good place to get shoes? I'd be like, yeah, check these guys out. I did a podcast during COVID where I went and interviewed a local brewery, and we sat down and we had a couple of beers and we chatted about the brewery and why. I'm a firm believer of people, of sharing stories. Like I'm not a big fan of reviews. Reviews can be bought and sold. You look at the best of Las Vegas every year. There's certain things that we just go through the hoops to get there. Yelp reviews, I've heard of people doing that and then getting their reviews buried. Or they'd have a review if they didn't pay for the account, like somebody gave you a negative one, but if you paid for it, you can get it removed. I'm not sure how true all that is, but I started thinking about all this stuff, and I know that one of my favorite coffee shops here in town, like when I say that your reviews can be bought and sold, like somebody might give you a good review and because you're going to give them a $5 gift card to your business. So there was a competitor might give you a bad review because they're a competitor. A coffee shop that I really love down here in Vegas, they had a bad review saying that the shop didn't even smell like coffee, but they roast their own beans in there. Every time I walk out of there, like I smell almost, it's not like cigarette smoke, but like if you went to an old school casino down here, like an older one, not the new ones that have the super high ceilings and their like airflow is so good, but the ones where you walk out, like you can smell like the smoke on you, like that. It's like that, but with coffee beans, which actually smells really good. But they got a bad review because of that. Very, very. I want to hear people talk. I want to hear them say, "Who are you?" Like let's get to know you and get to know what you're doing. Most of us know that people do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And so as I look through this and go the connectors, I am constantly, and even so I worked for a concierge here at one point, and that was my entire job. Was people would come up and ask me, same thing with like buyers and sellers, what they're looking for. And I wasn't selling them on anything. They're asking me like, where can I get the best steak? Where's the best pasta? Like what's a good show to go to tonight? And I would take all of that information and I would go, okay, this is here's what you're looking for. Okay, line up over here. This is what can offer that, and then just connect them. For even, one of my good friends down here, Mark, he always talks about, he's definitely a connector for sure. He has great ideas as well, so he does share his knowledge, but he's helped me become even a better connector because now his famous line is like, hey, I'll I'll connect you, and then whatever happens, hopefully I'll get to play in the same sandbox one day. And that's what he says all the time. And he's connected me with just a ton of people. Not everything works out all the time, but he just connects without anything expected in return. So, him and I will connect people, and we'll go, hey, like this, you have this, and you have this skill. This person needs that skill. Connect them. And neither one of us are, not that we're not hoping to get compensated at some point or in some way, but there's no need for compensation or recognition. The only time I will say this though, because this has happened to me quite often recently, is that, I don't need, like, if I make a connection with somebody, I make not like a connection, but like if I make a connection between two people and they go and they do something, I don't necessarily need the recognition for that. I don't care. That's just something that I do. But I have a challenge not getting upset when other people want to come in and stake claim for that, where they're coming in and be like, oh yeah, well, yeah, I did this, or like insert themselves into it. So I'm definitely human. Like I don't get super angry often unless I'm watching the Seahawks. But like when that happens, it frustrates me, and it also I'll take a mental note and know what to think later on. But anyways, like that's the connector aspect for me is, that's what we, most of us do. I mean, some of us are salespeople that are very good at it. But for me, I think the same thing. I'm always trying to connect. Like when people, I have a friend here that I play football every Sunday, flag football, not tackle. I'll just clarify that. I'm 42 years old. I'll bust a hip. But a friend of mine that plays with us, I'll always, because I listen to podcasts. I haven't been reading as much as I used to, but I listen to podcasts. I'll watch YouTube videos. I'll like consume information, and I am constantly like, even though I'm not doing the Learn for Two podcast anymore, like that's kind of how my day goes. I find things interesting, and then as soon as somebody says something, I'm like, hey, you should. So it's not me just connecting people. It's me connecting people to maybe resources and things like that. Where I want people to understand, like, hey, here you have this option. Like, hey, if this is going on right now, then try this. There's this guy, this knees over toes guy, that I asked somebody, this friend I'm telling you about. I asked somebody if they had heard of knees over toes, and my other friend was like, oh, here he goes again, just talking about some nonsense, because it's just so random, the stuff that I like to connect people with. And I think that's why I get so excited about this agent attraction and recruiting stuff. Because when I first started doing it, I was like, every conversation that I had with an agent was like, I need to get this agent on. I need to get them. They need to join. They need to do this. Like super, like a little dog jumping up, like Jack Russell, just jumping up. But I moved away from that and realized that I'm a connector. And all I can do now is, because I know that if I'm going to ask somebody to come join the brokerage that I'm at and name me as their sponsor, and we're going to grow something together, if I have to convince them to do that, I'm going to have to convince them again in 6 months when they're getting upset, and then convince them again another 6 months. So in 1 year, I recruited one person 3 times when I could have recruited just 3 people one time, and people that got it and were like, hey, this is where I need to be. And so that's kind of where I'm at now. There is Brian Carruthers wrote a book. I don't know if I have it down here right now. But he wrote a book called Building an Empire. And what he talked about was, when you do this, you go and you have, recruiting or attracting is very similar to giving 2 people a deck of cards and telling them to find the ace. So if I gave them to person B, or person A gets a deck here, and I said, find the aces, and he went through and was taking 6s, and I just said, just give me 4 aces. He goes through, and now all of a sudden he's trying to erase and turn that 6 into an ace. And then person B just goes through and just sorts through. Nope. There's one. Nope. There's one. Then the person that just sorted through would find them much faster than the person that was trying to turn those 6s into aces, because those aces weren't aces. They had to be manipulated into what we were asking for. And the same thing goes for, because even at that, it's still not an ace. So I'm not saying only aces join brokerages either. But what I'm saying is that when you are going through like trying to connect people to what they want, like just connect. Let's just, hey, here, this is what this brokerage offers. This is what we offer. This is what, here are your needs. Do we meet that? And can you, and can it work? So that's been a major mindset shift for me from when I started. I'll say recruiting. I'm going to say recruiting from now on because I hear everyone gets upset about it. But for me, when I was in high school, I would have loved to have been recruited from any college all over. I got a couple of letters, but nothing amazing. But to go play sports, I always wanted to be recruited. And now all I see on these Facebook groups is everybody getting upset about being recruited because somebody wants whatever. Everyone thinks everyone's in it for themselves, I guess. But anyways, while recruiting, like my only job now is to not sell. I'm not a salesperson to sell somebody on our brokerage. I'm a connector that says, hey, here's what our brokerage offers. I think it could help you here, here, and here. And if it doesn't, and you don't want to, then okay, that you weren't the ace, you were a 6. I'm not going to try and turn you into that ace. So that's kind of where I fell into understanding kind of my role a little bit more, was that I was a connector. And those are things that I want to continue to do, is just connect people. Cause I do it all the time because I will say this, one of the funny things about recruiting is that you can get into that mindset where you are worried that you are only doing it for yourself and you're not really trying to connect people. I've been there before. Luckily I'm out of that now, where I'm just trying to connect people. And if it works and I happen to get compensated, like if I told somebody they should go to a restaurant here in Vegas and they were to give me a kickback of whatever they ordered that day because I sent them there, that'd be awesome. But when I refer that for free, it's all everything's amazing. But when I start to get money back, everyone's like, oh, you only do it because of that. So I digress on that, on going down that rabbit hole for right now. But the main thing is that it is just about connecting, and that's what we're doing is connecting, trying to connect agents to the right spot. And I was on a call the other day where in mid call, what the agent was looking for and what they wanted, it wasn't aligning with what we were doing. And in the middle of the call, I stopped it and I said, you know what, this is not a fit for you. Like, this is, if you're looking for this aspect, it's not a fit. Like 4 years ago, I would have been, oh, please. Okay. Let's try and make this work. Let's try and make it work. I was like, nope, this is in 6 months. We're going to be revisiting this again. We are not the right fit here. So give them another option and let them connect with those people as well. So anyways, that's what I, consider myself to be as a connector. I just try to get people, try to put people in the right spot and to, leverage their strengths and do what they can do. So that's pretty much what I got for today. And I will catch you on the next one. Have a great one.